Hello Golden State Warriors fans. We are here once again to bring you the latest news related to our team, and I would like to emphasize how committed we are to improving our performance to achieve great results. Before we dive into this intriguing news, I kindly request you to show your support by clicking the like button, and if you are not yet subscribed to our channel, I invite you all to join us on an exciting journey. Remember to turn on notifications so you don't miss anything.
Jeff Teague shares a bold take on Dillon Brooks targeting Stephen Curry's hand injury. If I were playing. Former NBA All-Star Jeff Teague weighed in on the ongoing debate surrounding Dillon Brooks' tactics against Stephen Curry, particularly with regard to Curry's right hand injury. The Houston Rockets and the Golden State Warriors are currently in the midst of an exciting first-round playoff series, with plenty of talking points emerging. The most prominent topic following the Rockets' 131-116 victory in Game 5 has been Curry's hand. It's clear Curry feels like his opponents are intentionally trying to make the situation worse. Some see this as unsportsmanlike, while others view it simply as part of the game. So what does Teague think about all of this? Let's just say, he's not holding back. Teague, a former NBA point guard known for his scoring and playmaking abilities, though never really celebrated for his defense, has a strong opinion on the matter. Having guarded Curry numerous times throughout his career, Teague can certainly relate to the Rockets' strategy in this series. In a recent episode of his podcast, Teague didn't shy away from offering his full support for Brooks' aggressive approach toward Curry's hand. His reasoning? It gives the Rockets a better chance of winning. I like what Dillon Brooks is doing. Keep going at it, it's part of the game, Teague explained. If I was playing against Steph, I'd be going after his hand too. I'd be doing the same thing. Whenever he's near a screen, I'd grab his thumb. That's what you're supposed to do. Teague continued with an even more direct strategy. Whenever Steph is about to shoot and needs to extend his hand, I'm going to strike. And if he doesn't want to dribble with his left hand, guess what? I'm making him go left. It's a brutal take, but it's rooted in the intense, competitive mindset of a player who knows how much the game can be shaped by exploiting any perceived weakness. And while Teague's words might come off as harsh to some, he's simply stating what many defensive-minded players might consider fair game, especially when it comes to outplaying one of the league's most dangerous offensive weapons. As for Curry, the impact of his hand injury is still unclear. While he's putting up numbers that are still close to his regular season averages, it's hard to ignore that Curry hasn't reached his usual postseason heights just yet. At 37 years old, Curry is known for elevating his play when the stakes are highest, but his discomfort, and Houston's tough defense, could be holding him back. That said, it's still very likely Curry will ramp up his performance in the remaining games of this series and beyond. His 23 points per game in the playoffs so far don't quite match his regular season average of 30.5 points, but we've seen Curry hit another gear in the postseason before. And with the Warriors' season hanging in the balance, it's hard to imagine him staying quiet for long. As this series continues, all eyes will be on Curry's hand, Brooks' aggressive defense, and how these dynamics will shape the Warriors' path forward. Will Curry find his rhythm? Will the Rockets continue to target his injury? And perhaps most importantly, will this gritty competitive energy from both teams be enough to fuel a thrilling finish to one of the most exciting playoff series in recent memory? Only time will tell. As Game 6 approaches, the intensity of the series between the Golden State Warriors and Houston Rockets continues to build, with every play, every move under scrutiny. The spotlight remains firmly on Curry's hand injury, and the Rockets' defensive strategy, led by Dillon Brooks, is likely to stay front and center in the conversation. Brooks, known for his trash-talking and aggressive defense, has certainly taken the opportunity to make Curry's injury a target. And while some may call this unsportsmanlike, Teague's perspective is likely to resonate with many within the league. In a high-stakes playoff environment, players are often expected to exploit every weakness, no matter how small, to gain an edge. For Curry, the challenge is clear. Not only is he battling a physical injury, but now he's also facing a heightened level of attention from his opponents, who are determined to make him uncomfortable. This strategy could have long-term implications, not just for Curry, but for the Warriors' playoff hopes. If Curry can't find a way to adapt to the extra pressure on his hand, it could drastically alter Golden State's chances of advancing in the postseason. But as Jeff Teague pointed out, this is part of the game. The pressure on Curry isn't just from his injury, it's from the Rockets, who are playing with a sense of urgency and desperation. Houston's defense, led by Brooks, is clearly willing to do whatever it takes to disrupt Curry's rhythm, and they've succeeded in forcing him into uncomfortable situations. What's more, The mental aspect of this rivalry is becoming just as significant as the physical. Curry is known for his ability to stay calm under pressure, but even he is not immune to the frustration that comes with constant physical challenges. His hand injury, combined with Brooks' tactics, has the potential to chip away at Curry's mental game, making it even harder for the Warriors to close out this series. As the Warriors look to Game 6, it's not just Curry who will have to step up. The entire team must rally behind their star and provide support in both scoring and defense. With Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and others stepping up in the past, it's likely they'll need to lean on each other even more in this critical game. However, with Houston applying constant pressure, it's clear that the Rockets' strategy will continue to focus on exploiting Curry's vulnerability. For the Rockets, there's a sense of growing belief that they can pull off the upset. With each game, they've shown that they are not intimidated by the Warriors' pedigree. Brooks has embraced the challenge of guarding Curry, and with the series on the line, he's likely to intensify his efforts. The Rockets have managed to keep the Warriors on edge, and if they continue to disrupt Curry and force Golden State into uncomfortable situations, they could be on the verge of a stunning first-round victory. The Warriors, however, are a team built on resilience, and their championship DNA is still very much alive. As much as Curry has been the focal point, the Warriors know that their title hopes rely on their collective effort. Players like Green, Thompson, and Andrew Wiggins need to step up, and their supporting cast needs to continue performing at a high level, especially if Curry is hampered by his injury. The storylines around Dillon Brooks and his defensive tactics are just the beginning of what promises to be an intense and emotional Game 6. As the series heads toward its conclusion, the Rockets are hungry for an upset, while the Warriors are fighting to protect their legacy. Curry's injury, Brooks' aggressive defense, and the mounting pressure on both teams set the stage for a thrilling finish to one of the most hard-fought playoff series in recent memory. With everything on the line, it's clear that neither team is ready to back down, making for a playoff clash that will be remembered for years to come. Steve Kerr and Draymond Green agree on the Golden State Warriors bench performance, I thought. The Golden State Warriors fell to the Houston Rockets in Game 5, losing 131-116, but the Warriors bench certainly didn't go down without a fight. At one point, the Warriors were trailing by as much as 31 points in the third quarter, prompting Steve Kerr to pull his starters and essentially throw in the towel early. However, the bench unit stepped up, cutting the Rockets' dominant lead to just 11 points, forcing Houston coach Ime Udoka to bring back his starters. The Warriors' second unit proved to be a force on both ends of the court. Despite the defeat, the mood in the Warriors' locker room was surprisingly positive, with the team confident that the bench set the tone for Game 6. Warriors' key players were quick to praise their reserves for stepping up. At halftime, Kerr had planned to give his starters 6 minutes to rest before emptying the bench. During those 6 minutes, Houston stretched their lead, but Kerr responded by giving Braxton Key, Pat Spencer, Tracy Jackson-Davis, and Kevin Knox significant playing time, and the reserves fought until the very end. "I loved our bench group," Kerr said after the game. "They came in and forced Houston to bring their starters back. They set the tone we're going to need for Game 6. Even though we lost the game, it was crucial that we fought the way we did in the fourth quarter." With 9 NBA championships under his belt, Kerr knows better than anyone how to stay competitive and continue playing at a high level even when the game seems out of reach. The Warriors kept pressing the Rockets, forcing players like Amen Thompson, Alperen Sengun, Jalen Green, Fred VanVleet, and Dillon Brooks into tough situations. Just the fact that they came in, played the way they did, and forced their starters to return gave us a shot, Draymond Green added. "We were down by 11, had a few attempts to cut it to under 10, but it just didn't work out. But I think our bench did an incredible job, coming in, keeping the fight alive, and making an impact on this series." The Warriors still lead the series 3-2, and Game 6 will give them a chance to bounce back. With only one day of rest, Kerr made the wise choice to keep his starters out as much as possible in Game 5, understanding the risk of injury and how it could jeopardize the series if false hope set in. As the game wore on, players like Jimmy Butler, Stephen Curry, and Brandon Podziemski, who didn't contribute much on the floor, were seen smiling and cheering on their teammates, despite the game being out of reach. For the Rockets, this could be a major setback. Udoka had no choice but to put his starters back in. Thompson took a hard fall, Sengun tangled with Spencer before fouling out, and the Warriors bench had already made a statement. With a well-rested and motivated squad, Golden State is poised to send Houston packing in front of their home crowd in the Bay Area. As Game 6 looms, The Warriors are laser-focused on securing the series and advancing to the next round. The gritty performance from their bench in Game 5 has become the rallying cry for the team, especially with so much on the line. Kerr and his players are well aware that they need a full team effort if they're to eliminate the Rockets in front of their home crowd. The Warriors' bench players, often overlooked in the spotlight, have received widespread praise for their resilience. The significance of their effort cannot be overstated. In a playoff series where every possession counts, these players showed heart and determination, sending a message that the Warriors' depth is a powerful weapon. It wasn't just about the scoreline, it was about the attitude, the refusal to quit, and the willingness to push back when the odds were stacked against them. "This game showed the heart of our team," Draymond Green said, reflecting on his teammates' resilience. "We're a family, and when one part of the team is down, the other parts pick it up. That's what we did tonight. It's about next man up, and that's exactly what our bench did. They kept us alive." As the Warriors prepare for Game 6, there is a renewed sense of belief in their locker room. Kerr's decision to rest his starters during the latter part of Game 5 was strategic, aimed at preserving their energy for the decisive Game 6, but also underscoring the importance of staying healthy in a grueling playoff series. With only one day to recover, Kerr is careful not to push his stars too hard, especially considering the physical toll of a 5-game series. The Rockets, however, are far from defeated. While their starters were forced back onto the floor to hold off the Warriors' surge, they'll need to regroup and reassess their approach for Game 6. Houston had a strong lead, but the Warriors' bench made them sweat, and that's not something they'll easily forget. The Rockets' coaching staff, led by Ime Udoka, will be under pressure to find a solution for the Warriors' depth. Looking ahead, the matchup between Curry and the Rockets' defense will be pivotal. Curry has shown flashes of his MVP-caliber play throughout the series, and the Rockets know they can't afford to let him get hot. But the Warriors' depth, spurred on by their bench, could prove to be the deciding factor. The spotlight will inevitably shift back to their star players, but it's clear that the Warriors are more than just their starters. They're a team built on cohesion and collective effort. In the aftermath of Game 5, the narrative has already shifted. What could have been a demoralizing loss instead became a rallying point for the Warriors. Their bench has given them a renewed sense of purpose, and the momentum is now in their hands. If they can carry that energy into Game 6, it's not hard to imagine the Warriors closing out the series with a resounding win. Meanwhile, across the league, analysts and fans are already buzzing about the impact of the Warriors' bench performance. Many see this as a defining moment for the team. If the Warriors can overcome the Rockets and make a deep playoff run, it will likely be remembered as one of the key turning points in the postseason, one that highlighted not just their stars, but the crucial role of the reserves in securing victory. With the Warriors back in the Bay Area for Game 6, the pressure is on the Rockets to respond. Houston's hopes of extending the series hinge on their ability to contain the Warriors' star power, as well as mitigate the contributions from the second unit that proved so effective in Game 5. The Warriors, now more confident than ever, are poised to finish the job and send a message to the rest of the league. Their championship pedigree is as strong as ever, and their depth is a force to be reckoned with. Dub Hub, Jimmy Butler remains confident in Warriors despite Game 5 blowout. Here's your Thursday, May 1st roundup of all things Warriors and NBA. Despite a tough 131-116 loss to the Houston Rockets in Game 5, Jimmy Butler isn't hitting the panic button. The Warriors' star remains confident, assuring fans that the team will be just fine. "We're good," Butler said, signaling that Golden State is far from finished. Wednesday night's game was a missed opportunity for the Warriors to close out their first-round series. Houston came out swinging, and Golden State starters found themselves overwhelmed early, trailing by 27 at halftime. With the game slipping away in the third quarter, head coach Steve Kerr made the strategic decision to pull his starters and rest them for a must-win Game 6 on Friday. Even after the loss, Butler's calm demeanor and belief in his squad are a reminder that this series is far from over. The Warriors still lead 3-2 and now return to the Chase Center with a chance to finish the job in front of their home crowd. But make no mistake, Houston has shown they won't go down without a fight. Golden State will need to bring a renewed sense of urgency if they want to avoid a Game 7. In other NBA news, the Timberwolves eliminated the Lakers from the playoffs with a 103-96 win in Game 5. Meanwhile, Atlanta's Dyson Daniels took home the NBA's Most Improved Player award for the 2024-25 regular season. For more updates and headlines from around the league, check out today's full NBA news roundup. Steph Curry and the Warriors crumble in Game 5 blowout loss to Rockets, 131-116. The Houston Rockets played like their season was on the line. The Golden State Warriors? Not so much. In what can only be described as a flat and uninspired performance, the Warriors dropped Game 5 to the Rockets in a crushing 131-116 loss on Wednesday night. While Houston came out with urgency and intensity, Golden State looked like a team already thinking ahead to Game 6. They were slow, sloppy, and outmatched from the start, and Houston took full advantage. After a brief 8-5 lead early in the first quarter, the Warriors gave up a brutal 15-0 run that put the Rockets ahead for good. From that point on, the gap only grew. By halftime, Golden State trailed by 27, and the starters had no answers. Head coach Steve Kerr pulled the plug midway through the third quarter, benching his starting five in an effort to regroup for the next game. Steph Curry was the only Warriors starter to score in double figures, finishing with just 13 points, 7 assists, and 3 rebounds. Jimmy Butler struggled mightily, shooting 2 for 10 from the field for only 8 points. Meanwhile, every single Rockets starter scored at least 11, with Fred VanVleet leading the way with 23 points on a red-hot 8 of 13 shooting night, including 4 of 6 from deep. But it was Klay Thompson who stole the show. The athletic young wing played suffocating defense on Curry and turned in a monster performance. 21 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 5 blocks, and 2 steals in just 28 minutes. He finished with a staggering plus 31 plus-minus, and that was through 3 quarters. With the lead ballooning past 25, both coaches emptied their benches. Golden State's second unit, led by Moses Moody, showed some fight. Moody poured in 22 points, grabbed 9 boards, and added 2 steals in 25 minutes of scrappy play, proving to be one of the few Warriors who brought real playoff energy. A spark came early in the fourth, as the Warriors bench stormed back with a 14-2 run to cut the deficit to 15. But a missed layup by Braxton Key with just over 4 minutes remaining was a turning point. The Rockets capitalized, and tempers flared. Dillon Brooks' rebound turned into a scuffle that ended with Tracy Jackson-Davis and Alperen Sengun picking up technicals, and Pat Spencer getting ejected after a heated exchange. Ironically, Spencer had been a bright spot off the bench, tallying 11 points in 14 minutes with impressive energy. While the late push wasn't enough to save Game 5, it forced Rockets coach Ime Udoka to bring his starters back in the fourth quarter, burning valuable minutes as both teams now prepare to fly cross-country with only one day to recover before Friday's critical Game 6. Curry, Butler, and Draymond Green have shared the court for just 67 minutes this series, compared to 99 minutes logged by Houston's big trio of VanVleet, Thompson, and Sengun. With fatigue setting in and momentum swinging, every bit of rest and recovery will matter heading into what could be the series decider. Whether it was overconfidence, exhaustion, or just an off night, Golden State simply didn't bring it in Game 5. But back home at Chase Center, with their season still in control, the Warriors will have the chance to close the door for good. Game 6 is set for Friday night. Tip-off time is still to be announced, but expect the Warriors to show up with urgency and something to prove. Looking ahead, pressure mounts as Game 6 looms. The aftermath of Game 5 sent shockwaves through the NBA community. Analysts were quick to point out what many fans had already sensed: the Warriors lacked their signature edge. The team that once thrived in high-pressure moments looked, for much of Wednesday night, unsure of itself. Fatigue is one thing, but the lack of urgency was harder to excuse. Veteran voices around the league weighed in. Former Warrior and NBA champion Andre Iguodala noted during a post-game